There's an island in the South Pacific that was discovered in the 1700s by Captain James Cook and then undiscovered in 2000 by a very dedicated group of amateur ham radio operators. Sandy Island has been on maps of the Coral Sea since the late 1800s. It's said to have been longer than Manhattan by about half and characterized by heavy breakers and sandy islets. It was first seen probably by Captain Cook in 1774 and then again by an Australian whaling vessel about 100 years later. As we developed more accurate mapping technology, there came about some questions about where Sandy Island was located specifically. Flyovers weren't showing the island where maps had reported it would be. And it wasn't a huge deal though, because nobody ever really went there. It wasn't known to be populated. So some maps were published, including Sandy Island, and some weren't. And this persisted for over 100 years. And this uncertainty is exactly what made it extremely important to a group of New Caledonian amateur radio operators who wanted to establish communication on the extremely remote Chesterfield Islands, which are located about 850 kilometers east of Australia. This project was part of what's called a de-expedition, where teams will travel to destinations that have few or no ham radio operators, set up their own transmitters and antennas, and try to establish as many contacts as they possibly can within the span of a couple of days or a couple of weeks. There's eligibility criteria for destinations to qualify for the DX Century Club, which is an award given to teams that successfully contact and confirm at least 100 different geographic entities as defined by the American Radio Relay League. For the Chesterfields to qualify as a remote enough location, there had to be at least 350 kilometers of open water separation between these islands and New Caledonia. Unfortunately, that means that if Sandy Island existed in the spot where it had been mapped for centuries, then it was in the way. And that would result in a failed bid to make the Chesterfields a new DXCC entity. Part two coming up, or if you're watching from the future, it's already over on my profile.